Well, folks, it's another sad day in YouTube history. I'm sure you've already heard the news, but they're removing the dislike counter from videos. Not even giving creators an option to have it available for the audience to see. I've been watching videos on this site for roughly half my life, and seeing the slow but steady decline has truly been one of the worst black pills that has been shoved down my throat. Not once has YouTube made an improvement for either creators or the audience in the last decade. And in the last roughly 6 or 7 years especially, nearly every change has been made to the benefit of corporations advertising on their platform, which unfortunately almost always means something bad for the creators. And today is yet another one of those days. So without further ado, here's my live reaction to the video.
Hey folks, you may have seen a while back that YouTube announced it was experimenting with making dislike counts private to only the creator of the video. Now, if you're like me, you were surprised by that. I mean, I've always thought seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But
that's what most people think.
Research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either. Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard.
Yeah, no shit. That's how it's always been. It took you a fucking research team to figure that out. Of course videos get targeted. Your fucking videos get targeted. The YouTube Rewind, that was a perfect example, became, you know, the most disliked video on the entire website at the time. I don't know if it's been surpassed since.
And it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. That's a big...
Listen, I have been a victim of this myself. A victim, in quotes, of course. There's a lot of people who don't like me. You can take one look at my videos and see the dislike counts. They're above average, to say the least. I've released quite a few videos that have pissed off a lot of people. Ever since my Last of Us 2 videos, I've been pissing people off from time to time. Gaming is dying. Both my Doom Eternal videos. The Suicide Squad, my most hated video by a significant margin, and more recently, the Deathloop review. I would never take away your ability to dislike my videos. I don't care. You're allowed to dislike things. You're allowed to state your opinion in the comments. I have never deleted a comment, ever. And I never will. But YouTube wants to censor you. Let's let this man continue.
Problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice. So earlier in 2021, YouTube experimented with making the public dislike count private to see if it would help reduce these coordinated dislike attacks across the platform. And after analysis, they did see a reduction. So the update from YouTube is that the dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private.
What the fuck is the point of the dislikes then? What? Okay, so the creator can see them? People will have no idea if their voice is being heard. You know, the viewer's voice is being silenced now, YouTube. You're fine with that. But oh no, the creator's voice can't be silenced. How is a dislike silencing them? Yeah, maybe it culls the weak-willed, the weak-minded off of YouTube. Okay, why is that bad?
You can still dislike videos, and that action will be used to tune your own recommendations, but you won't be able to see the dislike count. Only the creator can find it on the back end if they want. Now, a few common questions we saw from the initial experiment. First, without a public dislike count, how can viewers tell if a video is worth watching? Again, I kind of had this question too, but it turns out that while viewers might use the dislike count to give them a sense of a video's worth, When the teams looked at the data across millions of viewers and videos in the experiment, they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership, regardless of whether they could see the
Viewership is not a measurement of how good a video is. It never has been. What the fuck is this metric they're talking about? There are plenty of creators who've pissed off audiences, pissed off outside audiences, and gotten even more views than they would have ever gotten, sheerly through hate. And if anything, that's profitable. So I don't know what the fuck the point is here, but a measurement of views has nothing to do with the quality of the video. I've made great videos that don't get any views. I've made subpar videos that somehow get over 100,000 views. This is fucking idiotic, to say the least.
The dislike count or not. In other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched. Next common question, if creators can still see the dislike count on the back end, how's that any different? They can see it if they look for it inside Studio Analytics under the Engagement tab. But overall,
so
it's
now
much
they're
less
hiding
likely to
dislikes.
cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public. And one more common question, is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes? No. Although
Fuck
there
off,
are
you
some
lying
teams
whore.
internally who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes.
Prove
Now,
that it
this again
isn't.
is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel.
Again, protect creators from what? From criticism? They can still read the fucking comments, but I guess you can disable comments, so this is just another step. Disable comments, disable dislikes. I mean, shit. Okay, nobody ever improve. In fact, YouTube is just going to use this as another excuse to promote their shitty creators that follow all their special rules on the platform while silencing anybody with any real criticism. You know, somebody like It's a Gundam who's been blacklisted from the algorithm. Memology was blacklisted for a long time and somehow got out of it recently. Whatever you think about Steven Crowder, he's inarguably one of the largest conservative voices on both the internet and outside of it. Completely gone from the algorithm. Only way you're going to find his videos is if you're subscribed and notified, for that matter, or you literally have to search his name in the search bar. So, YouTube will promote, shitty news networks, creators that toe the line and have no real opinions. And you'll have no way of knowing if the content you're watching is actually terrible other than you have to watch it and see for yourself. You actually have to watch the whole video and waste your time to know if it's a piece of shit video. I guess you could argue that's a good thing that people actually have to watch the content to know to dislike, I suppose. But now creators are going to ignore any criticism on their videos. So, great change, YouTube. Thanks.
Safe in doing so. All right, so that's the update. I hope it doesn't cause too much frustration. Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly, and keep in mind other platforms don't even have a dislike button.
And that's why other platforms are shit. You ever wonder why I'm not on Twitter, not on Facebook, not on Instagram? That's one reason of many. I mean, shit, even Reddit still has its downvote button, which they claim is not a dislike button, that you're only supposed to do it to push down speech that's not constructive, but they've never used it for that. Not even since its inception. No, people use it the same exact way as the dislike button, right? So maybe it's only a matter of time for Reddit to get rid of its. Not that I even use that shithole of a site anymore, but... Okay, let's read some comments. I'm sure they'll be interesting. Oh, and I've done my part and disliked the video while you can still see it. Dislike counts are necessary to spot clickbait, scams, fake tutorials, blatant misinformation, etc. You're protecting no one and actively sabotaging your own platform. Yes, I agree with Element 115 100%. This isn't about protecting creators. This is about protecting corporations, media companies, and their propaganda. Only a matter of time before they try to silence the comments completely, too. Yep, I have to agree with Femboy Friday on this one as well. The dislike count is an extremely useful tool for students when auditing the validity of educational content. It very effectively helps to separate the experts from the charlatans in a transparent way 99% of the time. I fear this will allow misinformation to spread unchecked in this platform. Well, :W, I actually half disagree. I think YouTube's actually going to use it to promote their misinformation and silence facts if they disagree with the mainstream narrative. But, you know, maybe that's just my conspiracy theory talking. I agree with the spirit of the sentiment, though. This is a nice, succinct one. One of YouTube's missions is to give people a voice. Removes dislike button. In other words, they want to censor the audience from expressing their dislike. What a joke. I think Mr. Obvious put it pretty well there. The dislike numbers on this video is the exact reason why we need them. And I could go on. Obviously, nobody really wants this. YouTube is one of the last bastions of free speech on the internet, and while a lot of it is already pretty censored, as they do auto-remove comments with certain keywords or phrases, so if any of your comments have been removed from my video, that's how. You can still find a way to say what you want to say. There is nobody moderating the comments except the creator themselves. But no, free speech is about to die on YouTube. I have no doubt in my mind they're going to constantly be tweaking their algorithms for comments to try and find some way to censor any dissenting opinions or quote-unquote hateful speech. God, just read this pinned comment. Why don't you make this optional for creators? This is optional for creators today, but we've seen that when creators choose to turn off likes/dislikes on their videos, they can be bullied and harassed for their decision. Ultimately, because it's YouTube's responsibility to protect its community and create an inclusive environment where creators, like yourself, feel safe to express themselves, we've decided to make the dislike count private across all videos so that creators aren't pressured to make this decision themselves. Truly, this is a sad day for YouTube. So, thanks for watching. Do the things the algorithm likes. Kind of an ironic comment for a video like this, but you know, I always support dislikes. If there was a way that I could check some box so that you guys could see it, I would, but it's out of my hands. I will be closely monitoring the dislike counts on my videos, and I'll be reading comments as I usually do, because sometimes there is good criticism in those videos. I'd say most of the time it isn't, but that minority of the time where people have real advice, that's why the dislike button exists. That's why the comment section should exist, but, you know, that's not usually how it plays out. It's usually circle jerking or some midwit sarcastic comment that boils down a complex issue in a video to some smarmy Zoomer speak. But, you know, even so, I would never censor you guys. Unfortunately, this is out of my hands. It's out of everybody's hands unless YouTube decides to reverse it. So I just wanted to talk about this because it's pretty important, honestly. Next video will most likely be GTA Remastered, but if you tuned into the stream, you saw that I couldn't even play the game. So that'll probably be fixed by the time this goes up. And, you know, I'll play through it, and that's looking like a disaster. But yeah, I'll keep it short. I'll see you next time, guys.